Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about specifically Star Wars 8, The Last Jedi, and this content contains major spoilers for Star Wars The Last Jedi. Okay, today I'm specifically going to talk about the Ahch-To, the Jedi Temple World's Dark Pool. The Ahch-To Dark Pool. And specifically the scene where Rey goes into the Dark Pool on Ahch-To, and she is specifically seeking her parents. She wants to know who her parents are, okay? Now, what happens is that she sees an infinite number of herselves, okay, which does turn out to be a finite number of herselves. It looked to me to be about 100 times, 100 instances of Rey, 100 Reys, right? And she goes to the end of the line, and she approaches this reflective mirror, and it's clear that she's asking the darkness who her parents are, right? And the darkness just gives her a reflection of herself. Okay. Now I want to talk a little. Now I'm going to say what I think my interpretation. Actually, I'll say it now. I'll say what my interpretation of this is. Many reviewers have said this was a downbeat in the film, and that it didn't advance the story, and that it didn't mean anything. And they, just as Luke said, every word in the sentences they say are wrong. It's just 100% wrong. This scene is absolutely critical, not just to Last Jedi, but to the entire Star Wars franchise. One of the things that's happening in Star Wars The Last Jedi is a definition, and in some ways a redefinition, of the Force, okay? Now, I think what we see here in the Ahch-To Dark Pool is specifically Rey showing us in this story moment exactly what the dark side of the Force is, okay? So here's the interpretation, all right? This is my interpretation of what's happening in the Ahch-To Dark Pool, okay? The infinite number of Reys is the dark side of the Force saying, listen, we will make you 100 times what you are now. We will do it and it'll happen instantly, and it'll happen easily. With the Dark Force, you will have more. You will be far more than you are now. Okay, there'll be more of you. You will have more power. Okay. And the Dark Force is a magnifier of the power you have, and incredible additions to the power you have. Okay, so that is what the Dark Force offers: incredible power, making you more than you could be without the Dark Force. Okay, I would even say it's an amplification of what's there. I think it's a pure addition, like bolt-on power. That you get an incredible amount of additional power. Okay. So all of that is there, okay? And however, what isn't there? And that's in the scene. What's not there is in the scene, okay? So one of the things is she is alone. She is utterly alone. And this is an integral, crucial aspect of the Dark Force. You will have the Dark Force, but you will be alone. And the Sith have always shown this. They've literally pushed away everyone else except the Master and the Apprentice. And even within that relationship, they know that they're at each other's throats. So that even as you pursue this immense amount of power, you will be alone. And this is perfectly shown in the Ahch-To Dark Pool scene. You are alone in the Dark Force, okay? Power, aloneness, and the last is no answers, no truth. Okay, she went there for an answer to who her parents was. There's no answer there. There's no truth there, because the Dark Force does not offer any answers. It does not offer truth. Okay, so the Dark Force offers power. It offers a lot of it. It offers to make you more than you could ever be without the Dark Force. It offers to do that immediately. It offers to do that easily, okay? But it does not offer companionship. There's no friendship. There's no love on the dark side of the Force, okay? And in addition to that, there is no truth. That is the meaning of the Dark Pool, the Ahch-To Dark Pool, okay? And we see that in Rey's scene when she's trying to determine her parents. Now, that is all happening okay, within that dark school pool. So that's my interpretation of what happens in the Ahch-To dark pool. I want to talk for a moment to everybody out there, because you guys are essentially watching a movie review. This is me making a very in-depth movie review, me talking about one specific scene within this movie, and me as a movie reviewer, right, a movie commentator. Well, there are a lot, and so I really want people to start thinking about these Star Wars films, right? As much as possible, the Star Wars films are no longer really reviewed by movie reviewers. More and more, movie reviewers are being reviewed by what they say about Star Wars. It doesn't go the other way, okay? When you have an intellectual property that has made multi-billion-dollar films time and time again, one after the other, since 1977, and your success has been lauded by the masses for 40 years, you don't need to prove, nobody's beholden to Chris Stuckman to say this was a good movie at that point, right? These movies have moved beyond review, okay? They are, in my opinion, 99% objectively good, right? Now, there is a 1%, it's art. Art can never reach fully the point of full objectively good. But you would have to write a novel to describe why you think these movies are bad. And even then, that would have to be read by scholars and then reinterpreted back to the masses, in my opinion. And so one of the things that I would just really encourage everybody out there is go back and look at the commentators the reviewers that you're watching. And if they said that this scene didn't tell us anything, they're not paying attention. They're not, and in my opinion, they're really not worth watching anymore, right? I really feel like Star Wars: The Last Jedi gives us an opportunity to prune the tree, right, for reviewers who are simply who are there for spectacle. Okay, films are art, all right, and you need an artist's mind to properly review film. It can't really be all about spectacle to you. And I think there's a lot of commentators out there that are good at the craft of reviewing movies, good at the production abilities, and just getting another review out there, good at the technical aspects, but really should not be listened to. No one should stop them from doing their reviews. Their reviews should absolutely go out, right? But I'm saying we, as viewers of those reviews, I just hear more and more, I hear a lot of reviewers not really getting what Star Wars is about. And this Ahch-To pool thing is a perfect example of this. So just use Star Wars Last Jedi for what it is. Reviewers don't review it. It reviews reviewers, right? When I review Star Wars movies, my reviews are longer than the films most of the time, right? Because they need to be. There's so much on screen. There's so much depth in these films. It's incredible, right? And so just be aware, like if you're listening to a commentator and they were like, oh, this slowed the plot down, this was a dead zone within the movie, we didn't learn anything here, you really got to look again at who you're going to for movie reviews, because this was an incredibly deep scene. This told us the shape of the Dark Force for the first time in all of the Star Wars films. It's incredibly important, and you really want to check twice who you're listening to. And this is a perfect point to curate your movie reviewer list. Take care.